Welcome to our live stream of high school sports. Please note that this broadcast is produced by an independent team of sports enthusiasts, and the views, opinions, and commentary expressed are solely those of the commentators and not representative of the schools, teams, or athletes featured. While we strive for accuracy, occasional errors or misstatements may occur. This stream is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Ain't no telling how it might get. It's the hypest right here. High school sports at its finest. So many highlights, you have to rewind it. Hey, Stream City, let me just remind ya. The heart of a lion, the team full of fighters. So many stars on the field, it'll blind ya. They're giving everything they got till the time's up. Yeah, legends in the making. History is made. We just getting started. You ain't seen a thing. YSN, gotta know the name. They gon' bring the flames. They gon' do their thing. Take it to another level. Don't hold back. High school, got a passion and we show that. Got the drive and you know they got the heart. Number one spot for your high school sports. Let's go for the win. Hey.
Hey, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is YSN Live for this
Hump Day.
It is the 12th of November, the day after Veterans Day, the day that we continue to say thank you to the greatest people that were ever born. And in our country, the veterans, the ones that deserve all the credit and none of the blame. I'll just say it. They're the greatest people, the most courageous people. And I hope you got to thank a veteran yesterday. Very proud of my son yesterday. I know we gave him a little bit of grief. We had a stern talking to on the way to school. And I asked him after he got out, I said, did you thank a veteran today? He said, yes. Looked him in the eye, shook his hand, and said, thank you for your service. Hey, Z-Man, way to go. That's the next generation. That's how we have to do it. It is YSN Live. I am DJ Yoakley alongside the 8-time best-selling author, world traveler, Grammy, Emmy Award-winning, and Nobel Peace Prize nominated Anthony Ronald Hartwig. What's up, Ronnie? How are we?
I'm catching strays in the comments already. I'm getting blamed for Beaver's loss last night, which unfortunately Beaver did lose in 5 sets to Oakland Catholic in the state semis. I want to point out that I was there last year at their state semifinal and they lost, so I don't think my presence or lack thereof controlled that outcome. But if it did, if I have to take that loss and bear it and to avoid blame on anyone else, I'll do it. But yeah, Beaver unfortunately did fall last night in 5 sets. Heartbreaker against Oakland Catholic in the state semis.
Hey, Beaver. Great year.
Great season. That is the official end to the volleyball coverage on YSN. It took a little bit to end, but what a season. What a season it was.
Overall, overarching, 5,000, 30,000. I don't even know what the amount of thousands foot view for Anthony Hartwig, the dean of volleyball and girls sports in not only YSN, but our entire region, perhaps the state, perhaps even the country in high school sports. Anthony, what was your overall impression of how 2025 went in the volleyball world for YSN and the teams associated?
I think our area is taking more steps towards being able to be those teams that compete into regional finals, getting into state, where we're seeing more teams in regionals than we ever had before. We're seeing more teams get a win in regionals than we ever had before, where we're getting on that doorstep. I know for a long time, volleyball in the Tri-County area, at least, Mahoning, Trumbull, and Columbiana, has been really struggling to kind of compete once you get outside of the district and into the region. But we're starting to see teams really start to make strides to be those kind of teams that can get on the doorstep and can punch it open and can get in the state. We have had players that have led the state or been top 10 of the state in many categories. Lainey Hour was top 10 in the state, not just kills, but also hitting percentage. We had the number 2 blocker in the state of Ohio from West Branch and Audrey Ring. So we're having players kind of get on the state leaderboard And I think the next step is starting to get teams into that position where they can be on the state conversation, because it's been a while since a volleyball team in our area especially, but even YSN's neck of the woods has been to the promised land where they can kind of compete for a state championship. So I think we're getting there. I really do.
I do too. I echo the words because you and I have talked about this before, that the individual accolades come before the team championships start rolling around. So hopefully it's a sign of things to come. I think it really is. I think we have some of the best coaches in the area. I mean, when you talk about Rachel Storm Baker and the job and the work and God's work that she's putting in, and what she's creating from a standpoint of just absolute mercenaries on the volleyball court, you start putting some of them together in team form.
And she's starting a athletics volleyball club, which will, in its infancy this year, but as that starts to grow and catch some traction, they're going to get a lot of local players with very good club experience, and that's something that you also need to compete at that level as well. You need to be able to have that club JO volleyball experience, and if you have another avenue to be coached by someone like Rachel, then that gives you more reps and more players that can play at that level. So it's another positive thing when you see another JO club locally give kids a chance to play in that avenue.
And there is no doubt that we will have Rachel on probably in the next couple of weeks to talk about some of the new things happening with that club volleyball circuit. And, one of the questions that I've asked her many times before is how do they find time? How do some of these families find time? Because a lot of these girls are at smaller schools and they're multi-sport athletes. And how do you find time to compete when it's not JO volleyball? You know what I mean? So love to have her on the show, and she's got some great insight, and certainly our volleyball expert. No offense, Anthony.
No, she's. I wouldn't know anything if it wasn't for her. So she's I'll bend the knee to Rachel any day with volleyball.
So you're the Padawan.
I am the Padawan, absolutely.
Okay, she's the Jedi. There's no doubt in my mind. Well, with one season ending, that means another one began, and we wasted no time on YSN through our partnership with Westminster College last night. The boys are back. And a lot of the names that you're very familiar with, that you've seen here for years on YSN, are now at the buzz, and they are lighting up the skies. They are lighting up the scoreboard. I know that it is the first game of the Dave Richards era at Westminster, and it starts out with a win, 76-63, Juniata College. I don't want to, hey, anytime the Titans win, baby, anytime the Titans win, the Westminster College comes through with a big 76-63 victory. Big night for Trey DePietro. Big night for who else do I see on there?
Jackson Hendershot. I heard his name.
Hendershot from Mooney.
From West Branch, right? West
and then
Branch.
Mick Hergenrother from Mooney.
Right.
And then you had through a little bit of studying, this was a name that I didn't expect to see. But what a surprise, and what a delightful surprise for yours truly. Nick Ryan, a Westminster Titan.
Let's go.
I am stoked. Luke Rowan also on the squad, and man, I'm excited to watch this team. I'm going to have to go down to the old alma mater and watch this team in person because they are high flying. Drew Weir got a dunk last night. I think you can see it here on the highlights. Impressive. Just impressive. The Titans under new leadership with Coach Richards, and I think they're going to be very special. You can see the step back three. Look at that. Sploosh! I'm geeked up for basketball season, Anthony. We started it last night with the Titans on YSN, and boy, Mark Slezak and crew did a great job of broadcasting this one. Ben, I think, was in the booth with them. So congratulations to the Titans on their first win of the season. Congratulations to Dave Richards on his first win of his career under the Westminster banner. Obviously, he's done a lot of winning at Chatham. But to be able to win at your alma mater is something special. And I'm sure we'll get Coach Richards on here in the next week or two to talk about the Titans and what they presume to put on this year. There's a lot of I don't want to say dissing, but there's a lot of naysayers for the old blue and white this year. So, listen, Westminster's built a lot like yours truly. They put that chip on their shoulder, and good night, sweet prince.
Yeah,
So,
and anytime you bring in a new coach, you can expect people to like not expect what you're going to be able to do, and when you can't expect something or you don't know what someone's going to bring, that usually ends you at the bottom of a coach's poll because they just don't know, and it's their time to prove. Their time to go out and say, hey, this is what we have, and they did that in the first night of the season for sure.
Trying to find the points from last night. Hang on, I'll pull it over. I can't see it from over there. Stand by. So we know Drew Weir.
I'll put that up after. Sorry, I saw the comment, and then we'll put it up after we're done talking about Westminster. I don't want to break up the.
Drew Weir, the Salem product, went off for 27 points last night. Yahtzee. DJ Harrell went off for 17 points. Also had Trey DePietro putting in double digits, 10 points on the night for him. Mick Hergenrother had 7. Jackson Hendershot nailed his first 3 of the year. We saw that in the highlights. 5 points for Jackson, 8 points for Carter Anderson as well in a big win for the Westminster Titans. Did not see. Let's see, Nick Ryan. Did he get his first collegiate basket? He did.
Let's go.
Hey, congratulations. Only had about 1 billion of them in high school. So you got to start somewhere. And certainly a guy that I'm excited about. And to see this team continue to grow with YSN product and kids that we've seen grow up right before our very eyes.
Right.
And if you're not familiar with Nick Ryan, he's levitation, Holmes. He's a high flyer. And he is a scorer, and he's a great kid, great family, all that stuff. And now he's at a great institution of higher learning, the Westminster College. As I sit here in a YSU baseball jersey, as part of our jersey, what are we calling this? We're wearing jersey every day?
Jersey season?
Jersey and jersey
season?
Jersey season.
Jersey season?
Awful.
It does.
Terrible. We got to find a better name for that.
While you're wearing that YSU, we heard, got the info that Braden Songer is officially signed on for the Penguins. He's officially
tune up the band.
Let's go.
You're gonna be playing on that song. Braden Songer, congratulations. We have another Julian Tranovich. I was at the signing this morning for JT of South Range. He's going to Mercyhurst. We'll have a graphic up for him. We also have a story up for the Canfield commits who are committed to go to the next level to play. 5 or 6 of them that I saw. Put that story together, popped it out there, and I know that Addison Rhodes is signing today, and there was another one from
Wayne Hours signed to Malone.
Boom, there it is. That's the one I was looking for. Thank you.
I think a little bit later on today, Kylie Folkwine and Abby Toth from Fitch are signing for their D1 schools. Kylie Folkwine to Syracuse and Abby Toth to Detroit Mercy. So they'll be signing. It's National Signing Day for a lot of sports. So we're going to see a lot of people sign across the country. And it's one of my favorite days because it's when you commit, it's there, but when you put the pen to paper, that's when the dream comes true. So this is one of my favorite days of the whole calendar, when we see people that have put so much work into their crafts be able to sign on the dotted line that they are going to play at the next level and make dreams come true.
And one of the things that we always tell people is this is the time of year that we need your help more than ever.
Yeah.
We can't be everywhere because there's so many of them and they're spread out throughout the day at different places all over the
right.
At one point, we're going to get better at this, and we'll have kind of beat reporters to be able to do this. But right now, we really need your help in sending over pictures and statistics and things to build a story off of, so that way we can shine a light properly on your student athlete, whether it's athletic directors or parents. I know parents love seeing this stuff. The more you help us, the more we can help you back. So if you're looking for a story or you're mad at us because we weren't at a particular signing day, listen, number one is some of these are happening at like 8 o'clock in the morning. 7:30 in the morning.
Or like middle of the day, like I don't know.
Now.
For me, like middle of the day, like I'm my hands are tied right now. And I think a lot of people are the same way. A lot of people at YSN work other jobs and they can't go to the middle of the day at a 1:00 signing. They would love to, but if we're able to be there, we'll be there. But unfortunately, some of the timing is just not going to be sustainable with us being there.
And quite honestly, it's not necessary that we're there for a picture. I mean, we want to send our congratulations, but I think in our, not defense, but in our industry, what we do is we essentially, hey, we'll take it, we'll put a post up for you, or we'll write a story for you. From that standpoint, the more information, the better. I mean, we want to be able to knock it out of the ballpark here, and certainly the more help that you can be for us, we can shove it back out there and post that light right on your student athlete or your program or whatever it looks like for you. So I'm excited to see more of those. I know, Ant, you love National Signing Days, Letter of Intent Days, whatever you want to call it. There's another one coming up in February, right? For like usually the spring athletes are the ones that sign thereabouts, or the one. Yeah.
Today is softball for the class of 26, and I think February might be like the ones. It actually might be the fall. I think football and volleyball might be in the February. That would make
which is
you
weird.
Sign. I know. Like you're signing before. I guess you're signing before your actual season starts. So, like the spring sports are signing now before softball starts, and then February the fall kids would sign the season before their season starts. I don't know. I'm not the guy
you're having seniors sign after the fact in February, which is why. But
yeah,
NIL and scholarships, everything in college has changed the trajectory of any of that. So we can talk about that another time, because we have a very special guest at this time. Anthony, would you like to roll out the black and orange carpet for our guest?
Yes, our guest next is going to be continuing our basketball previews of high school basketball in the area. We got the girls coach of the Howland Tigers, a program that has seen its definite rise with this coach at the helm, and another year for him to continue that trajectory upwards. It is Aaron Pounds, the head coach of the Tigers, joining us live on the show. Let's go, Coach.
Afternoon, guys. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Hey, we've never been better. And because you're on this show, Coach, when you think about just this time of year, how giddy does it get you from a standpoint of celebrating the season, but also from a coach's perspective, you got to lock in, and business is business, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to get the season rolling, getting everybody on board and getting everybody on the same page. And everybody can tell you all the installs and, offense, defense, zone. Man, I mean, there's so much to start going over and getting ready to go. But, that's what we do it for. We love the game. So,
Coach, last year I saw you guys in one of the first games of the season, and it was clear that you had a lot of girls that were playing in new positions, new roles, and you had to get your feet wet, and you saw the progression as the season went. How much are you trying to build off of last year's experience going right into this year? A lot of players that are now more experienced than they were a season ago.
Yeah, a lot of lessons learned last year. We had two seniors last year, and the one, our girl with the most experience, Sophia Powell, she was hurt. She was out the first 3 games. And we had her like for every scrimmage leading up to it. And then to lose her for that first game was pretty brutal. And you got to saw the results of that afterwards. Those girls, they're very, very talented. I had a very, very talented sophomore group. They're juniors this year, but they just lacked experience overall. So getting them that experience and taking our lumps and getting better as the season progressed, that's what last year was, getting them experience. So
when you think about not only the experience that you have coming in that you gained last year, like you mentioned, but it's a schedule that's always a meat grinder. It's always one that you churn out, not just in conference, but what else you put on your schedule from a non-conference standpoint. For you, why is that imperative to continue to put your girls back up against the wall seemingly every single night you're out there? Is it to prep for, what comes later on in the season and the tournament?
sometimes I think from a coaching philosophy, I think it's better to lose by 20 than win by 20. You don't learn as much. You tend to gloss things over. Plus the next day at practice, you're not necessarily as locked in if you win by 20, so to speak. And then the other aspect of it is, two things. My athletic director, she's done a great job of scheduling, so she kind of sees where we're at and what we need, and then does a great job of finding us opponents to match up against and get better against. So that was a big part of the season last year. And then the AAC in general, Hallen, Warren, Canfield, Boardman, Austintown, all three of those girls programs, anybody can win on almost any given night, depending on the year. So all very, very competitive. So yeah, just going through and getting better for the postseason. That's what it's all about. You look at Laurel 2 years ago, they went into the tournament 11-11. I think they were sitting 10th. And I think we were sitting 7th, and we passed every time till we knew where they were going first. And they went on to the state finals. They lost in the state finals. They were state runner-ups, and they went into the postseason 11-11. So, I tell my girls about that all the time. It's, you got some of these schools around here, they don't necessarily have the same schedule we do, and they go into the postseason with really, really great winning records, and then they're out in the first game or two. So we've been to the district championship 2 years in a row. This year is going to be a little bit tougher, but we're really, really, really looking to next year even. We got no seniors this year, so getting everybody ready for next year's postseason is kind of like a big goal for us.
Coach, that is a fine line to walk too, because when you're having a schedule that is that hard and that difficult, you can toe the line of confidence and trying to keep your girls engaged and confident through some tough losses. What's your philosophy on that? Trying to navigate the inevitable losses of a tough schedule that's going to bring. How do you navigate the confidence and making sure they're still going into games expecting to win?
Last year was a big part of that too. We're not going into Hoban this year thinking that we're going to win. We're going into Hoban thinking we're going to get better. There's not a lot of teams in this area that can compete with Hoban. But at the same time, I tell them all the time, outside of Harding, we've had Lakeview the last couple of years, but there's not a lot of schools in Trumbull County that are, big enough to compete with us. And even the ones that are close, a division or two, they don't want to compete with Hallen. I'm not trying to be, I guess that's arrogance, but it is what it is. There's not a lot of teams in Trumbull County that want to play Hallen. So we got to look outside and find better competition. And, we travel up to an hour sometimes. And the girls, especially from last year, and then even, 2 years ago, I had a really, really good group when they were juniors. They didn't have any seniors. The girls that have been in the program, they see what it leads to eventually, they know they're getting better even if we go there and we lose sometimes. Another good example, we played Hoban and Green last year, and I think we were 4-4 going in to face Harding, and Harding was like 10-0 or 9-0 at the time, but they hadn't had an opportunity to play teams like Hoban or Green yet, and we were lucky enough to get out with the win. So those kind of games, they see that. You lose to Hoban or you lose to Green, but then you go out there and it makes you better for your league.
I know you mentioned that essentially no seniors this year, led by underclassmen, juniors. How does that challenge you as a coach to kind of challenge the girls in return to bring more leadership faster than other programs might have to showcase it that do have seniors, and they're kind of leaders by, I don't know, by just seniority?
Yeah, I hate the whole grade thing because if I could go back, one of my Coach Loeb Miller, he's with us this year. He said he loved coaching 8th grade because you didn't have to worry about the grade higher or the grade lower. It's really crazy the way these girls look. If there's somebody in the grade lower than them that's playing more than them, then they almost want to give up sometimes. But we got a really, really good group of juniors led by Maya Kamancic. And listen, I've said it about a couple girls in the past, but Maya is a good kid. Like, even if she wasn't as talented as she is, she works really, really hard at it too. 3-sport athlete. She's such a good kid and a great leader. And the rest of the girls, even the other juniors, they all look up to her. She's arguably, she is one of the top 3 athletes in Hallen High School right now. So,
yeah.
yeah, having somebody like her, she's just a natural leader just by her personality.
Coach, when you look at the scope of this season, some of the things that you want to get done in the next couple of weeks of scrimmages and practices before game one kind of comes upon you, what are some of those things on your checklist? Some things that you want to see get accomplished in these next couple of weeks, where are really the only times in the season where you're going to get straight just weeks of practice where you can work in the lab. What are some things on the coach's checklist for you to get done before game one?
Yeah, that's a good point too. We've throwing some stuff in there. There's a fine line between showing them too much and not enough. I talked to another coach today and they said they had a scrimmage and they got pressed and they weren't, they didn't have their press breaker installed. So all those little things. At the end of the day, like we're really, really preaching hard on energy and effort. Basketball can be a grind. It's the longest season out of all the sports. And the girls got to get after it. They got to get after each other. And make each other better. Coaches can't get out there and recreate those game situations for them. They got to do it on the court. So we're really preaching energy and effort. So as long as we see those two things, we don't have a lot of complaints, no matter what the X's and O's or even the execution at this time of the season. Just energy and effort. That's all we're looking for.
Energy and effort being your calling cards, it sounds like, this year. So what are some of the challenges you're anticipating that you're going to have to work out the kinks a little bit in practice and let the season kind of take place, gain that experience that you got some last year, but obviously with a younger crew, you're going to have to iron things out and build that plane while you're flying it. What challenges do you anticipate moving forward in the 2025-2026 year?
Getting that experience, we're super young. We've got 5 juniors, 3 sophomores, and then 8 or 9. I'm sorry, we have a foreign exchange student, but I look at her as a freshman. She doesn't have a lot of basketball experience. Great kid, though. So we have roughly 9 freshmen. We got 17 girls on the team this year. Thank God we got a JV to get them experience. That was a big hurdle last year, too, not getting all the JV experience that we needed. But super young. There's girls that, even some of those juniors didn't get a lot of varsity playing time last year. Hardly any of the sophomores did. So, we might take some months early in the season again, but just getting the experience and trying to stay positive and even some of those freshmen. It's a nice freshman group too. We might, at the risk of losing some games, to get them experience. So those are all things that we're looking at as staff. Like we're really, really focused. We want to win this year. I'm a competitive guy. But we're really super focused on next year and just kind of preaching to them, don't worry about your mistakes. You're going to have mistakes. They just got to stay positive with themselves and trust in the system.
Coach, we talked about your schedule in a big picture sense, but I do want to talk about the conference too, because this AAC is just no joke. You have so many talented teams, so many talented players, so many great coaches in the AAC. What are some of your expectations out of the conference? What would it take for Howland to win it?
Beat Canfield. Canfield, the front, they didn't lose much. It's no mystery. Canfield's obviously, I think they have the best coaching staff in the area, male or female. Coach Pav and Coach Real, they've got what I might be understating it, 40 some years of experience of coaching between them. They've been together so long. They know what each other's thinking. That kind of experience is hard to duplicate. And then they have the players to go with it. So a lot of great players over there. Like I said, they won the conference last year. And they didn't lose that much. They lost a couple players, but they got a lot of key returning players. Beating Canfield, it goes through Canfield this year. The rest of us, like I said, we're competitive. Us, Harding, Austintown, and Boardman. Who knows who's, the early front runner for second. But we like that conference because it gets us ready for postseason play.
I'm interested because, as someone who can appreciate learning how to win through losing, I didn't win anything until I was in high school and then even in college. But to understand that you have to continue to kind of walk that path and understand what it takes to win and learn how to win, this is almost like a 2-year build for you. You're saying you're looking forward to next year. So how do you kind of grade things out? Because halftime essentially is going to be after the season's over, and not that you're going to wave the white flag or anything like that or throw in the towel on the season, but how are you going to grade your team throughout the year is usually, halfway through the season, we always hear we're not going to even evaluate our team until after Christmas, things of that nature. How are you going to use those steps on a 2-year build as opposed to just, hey, we're going all in, chips on the table this season?
Well, the girls have seen it. Howland is unique in the sense that this is the second time in as many years as we've done this. 2 years ago, when we had Hozo, Masucci, Barish, DeSalvo, Silvers, a really talented group of juniors, there weren't any seniors around then either. And we could talk about the reasons why that is, but they went 13-13 that year, lost in the district semis to Salem. Then and the next year we ended up being 19-7, very, very similar schedule, and ended up losing in the district championship to Copley. So the girls have seen that are there. The coaches, we've seen it. We're kind of familiar with it. It's all about 1% every day. Get better 1% every day, no matter the result. Just bring the energy and effort, and the coaches aren't going to get on you.
Coach, I don't want to let you go without giving you the chance to talk about your coaching staff. We know you don't do any of the things that you do alone. So talk about the people in the school and the program that help you build Howland girls basketball to what it is.
Well, it all starts at the youth program, and that's probably what's most difficult for a lot of the high school basketball coaches. We're one of the few sports that don't really have a self-contained feeder system. Myself and Coach Boubon on the boys' side, we're very, very involved in our youth programs. So it all starts there. So you got to talk about the volunteer parents down there. I actually have a volunteer on my staff this year, Terry Greenwood. He's working with the 6th graders, and he's uber fundamentally sound and focused. So very happy to have him down there. But he's also going to be up with us at the varsity level. 7th and 8th grade, Coach Baxter, Coach Jones. They're down there. Bill Jones was with me last year at the varsity level, so he's going to take some of the things that we do up here and continue to show them down there. Coach Lobmiller and Coach Buckley from 8th grade last year, they moved up there with the JV team. That's a big reason why we have as many freshmen this year, is because they did a great job developing them and build a really strong relationship with them. Sorry about that. And I got the dogs jumping on me.
Yeah.
Say hi. So those two are great. And Coach Lobmiller, he's been at Howland twice as long as I have. He's a staple in the girls basketball coaching community. Great guy, and the girls love him. Cam, she's a young lady, and the girls love her. And then Coach Santee's been with me for the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. Really trust her, her input and whatnot. So they all know where we're at and what we're trying to do and looking towards next year, and just getting better this year. So very happy to have them around me.
Coach, we're happy to have you around us. I mean, what an honor it is and we appreciate you carving out some time in the middle of the day for us here live. We're fans. We're super fans. We're excited for Tiger basketball here on YSN. And we're excited to see this kind of journey you're about to go on, this 2-year kind of journey. I'm very interested. I'm excited. Obviously, we know that the Lady Tigers will show up on every single night, and under your tutelage, under your leadership, man, we're excited to see how far you can stretch things in 1 year, let alone 2. Coach, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it. Best of luck this year.
Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the Howland Lady Tigers basketball team, Aaron Pons. I had to throw a little Yinzer in there because, I mean, anytime a guy's name's Pons, I mean, that's one of my favorite guys. I mean, I get so fired up when coaches are talking about, hey, this is the plan. We're going to stick to it. The team's bought in. Because I mean, listen, he's not saying that they're going in thinking they're going to lose. That's not at all what he's talking about. That's what some people will probably sit there and go, they don't even care about this year. Not the case. They're going to use this year as growth year, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to win. That means that, hey, we're just stretching this out. And there's some teams, Ant, that you and I have seen, they go, hey, this group of freshmen is special. This is a 4-year run. This is a 4 and we're going to grade them on quarters every single year. So after the first year, how did they grow? After their sophomore year, how did they grow? To not have seniors on your team, it's not the worst thing in the world. And I think every coach and every athletic director would probably echo those words, because there's a stigma around seniors. And I'll be the first to, there's a stigma that seniors should get everything they ask for. And that's coming from the parents, that's coming from the players, and it comes down to playing time. I'm going to tell you, and I'm hoping coaches will appreciate this, it comes down to your character on and off the floor or court. It comes down to your grades. It comes down to your commitment level. It comes down to your ability on the floor. Your commitment level to the team. Are you showing up for practice? Are you playing hard in practice? Are you giving the team your best? Are you there for the team? All that stuff that people sit there and they go, I'm a senior, I'm going to do what I want. Listen, sometimes those underclassmen, Anthony, as you know, are more dangerous than anybody because they have time to develop. Yep. They have opportunity, and they are not pigeonholed into, I'm going here to college, or I'm not going to play basketball, or I'm not going to play this sport in college. So I'm not going to hurt myself doing something. And these underclassmen are really willing to break their necks trying to get that spot. It's incredible.
And if you're a senior and you see that, like your reaction shouldn't be, well, I'm just a senior, so I'm going to play no matter what. It should be, well, I have to work just as hard as them, or else they're going to take my spot. You know, if
I'm
you're
going to get you.
Right. If you're a senior point guard and you see a sophomore or a freshman point guard come into the program that is just killing it, like, where's your competitive attitude? Like, you should be like, okay, I'm going to work just as hard as this kid. Let's see who gets that starting job. Let's see who can be the better point guard for his team. And then at the end of the day, if it's not you as a senior, I think you have to set the example and still be a leader, because you can be a leader without being the main focus of the team on the floor. There are wildly a lot of ways to lead as a senior. And I think you can set the tone for your program if you don't handle things like taking up football. Don't handle it like Brett Favre did. Handle it more like Alex Smith did, right? When you know someone's behind you, when you when you know someone's behind you and you think, well, that's not my job to carry him around or to raise him up, even though they might be taking my job, be a leader, be a strong leader, build the program, have some pride in that. So we've seen a lot of seniors do that. We have some great seniors. We've had some great seniors, and there are too many to mention in the past 9 years of YSN. So I think we've been blessed with a lot of seniors to kind of get that, and which is not everywhere all at once in high school sports. We know that as well.
I'm going to argue this, and I think you're a perfect case study and probably can stamp this for me. I think girls sports, you see a lot more of that leadership from seniors that aren't playing necessarily every play than you do from boys sports. Agree or disagree?
I agree. I agree. I think the caveat is when it's not there, it can be more toxic and more detrimental. We've seen that in a couple spots here and there where, like, when it's not there, when the senior kind of doesn't handle it the right way, it can get more off the rails than maybe a boys toxicity can. But I think the law of averages works out where you see a lot more senior leaders that know their roles, just know their role in the team, even if it's not the leading scorer in the girls' side than you do the boys' side. So I think there's kind of a double-edged sword to that statement, because we all know teenage girls, when it goes bad, it goes really bad. So
that's everybody. That's
all
it takes is one bad test or breaking up with your girlfriend at recess.
When team chemistry goes wrong in girls sports, I think from my point of view, it can go really way more off the rails than maybe the boys can. Because I think we're not going to get into generalities, but in general, boys tend to get over things a little bit quicker.
Well, and I think boys can cover it up with athleticism a lot of times, right? Because the team aspect is more, and I don't want to sound like this is a sexist comment either way, but the team aspect is more the girls' side of things. I mean, we've heard coaches that have coached both boys and girls, and they prefer girls because, listen, if I tell a group of girls what to do, they're going to go out and execute because they believe in the plan. They believe in each other. If I go out and tell a crew of boys what to do, they're just going to go out and do what they're going to do anyway. That's just
Right.
with the testosterone and the hormones and all that stuff going through their bodies at that age. They're just going to do that because boys think that they're more athletic than each other. And girls are like, okay, this person's really good at this. This person's like role players more
Right.
in girls sports, especially in basketball, I think, when it comes down to it, because volleyball, you're pretty much role player anyway nowadays. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you've got front line,
Absolutely.
you've got attackers, you've got liberos, you've got defenders, all that stuff. It's kind of like hockey in that way that
Right.
you're not looking for your defenders to go on offense. Basketball, five players have to be able to score. I mean, that's just
Right.
how it is, or rebound. That's it. And you can't win with one or two scorers in girls basketball,
Mhm.
or win consistently, I guess
Right.
is the difference. In boys basketball, you can, because you can have a kid that's 6'4", 6'5", and all he's there to do is rebound the basketball and get it to the shooter or the point. So
Right.
girls basketball, we've seen it transition more to that, but it's also a long way from where it's going to be 10 years from now here on the network.
Yeah, we continue to see those steps going forward, and there's no reason to think that, like you just said, 10 years from now, after we can actually, we're almost at 10 years, so we can actually take in what we've seen in the last 9 years and say, look at the growth we've had since, year one of our girls basketball coverage, and now we see where we are now in girls basketball coverage and where all these teams are, and you can take some programs and say, where were they when we started compared to where they are now? Just from a program by program example, and say, look at the strides they've made, look at the numbers they've brought out. So I think you're absolutely right. There's no reason why you can't continue to kind of take that trajectory upwards.
One of the things that I wanted to bring up as we're talking about a little bit about girls hoops and early on in the season is something I know you and Ty look forward to every single year. It's that South Range
Yes.
tournament over the Christmas holiday, between Christmas and New Year's, that they do this. And it's very special for a multitude of reasons to all of us at YSN. We were the first ones there. I mean, we were there when Donnie Farron, kind of came up with this idea, and everybody thought he was crazy because he said, I want to have the best Christmas tournament in girls basketball in the state of Ohio, hopefully the country.
Mhm.
And boy, golly, has he been able to knock it out of the park in I want to say this is the 7th or 8th year that they've had this. And I mean, you've got some contenders. You got potential state champions walking
Right.
into that gym between Christmas and New Year's. And that, to me, Howland being one of those teams, if I'm not mistaken.
Howland is there. Hoban is
jumps
there.
in there.
Boardman is there. Beaver is there. I think
Canfield,
Maslin
Ranch.
Perry is going to be there. Canfield, Fitcher there. Mooney, South Range, Garfield. If I'm missing someone that I don't know, I know that schedule. We haven't gotten the full schedule yet. And I think there
Right.
might be a couple of things that are still trying to be put in line as far as timing when teams are going to play each other. But every year there's this, from non-YSN teams to YSN teams, they're just full of just star-studded talent.
It's incredible. And I mean, people were, why don't you just throw a local shindig for a couple of days and call it a day? And Donnie was adamant about, this is what we should be doing. This is bringing in this talent, because then the local people can see the talent and be like, okay, we're going up against the best. How do we measure up against some of these teams? And, one of the teams that I'm really looking, well, let's segue into that, Ant, as we're talking about girls basketball. Who are some of the teams, whether it's from a winning standpoint or just watching them play, that you're really looking forward to seeing this year on the floor?
First and foremost, I want to say I'm really looking forward to Coach Powers brought up the Canfield team that not necessarily lost, the seniors that you would think on the scorebook would be super important. But I think when you kind of take the big picture thing and you say, okay, who's getting their rebounds, who was doing their defense, who was getting some steals, they lost a couple of really important seniors, but a lot of returners that are coming back. Carly Fleming, who led the YSN family last year in steals, won the Defensive Player of the Year award for basketball. You look at, Jenna Havrilla and Sam Castronova coming back, and CeCe McElroy, who's a great shooter from the perimeter, coming back. They have all those pieces, but I'm also just interested to see what the next step for them is, because they had such a successful season last year. What's next? Like, do they take that next step? Do they keep their foot on the gas pedal and say we can get even better and make another deep tournament run? Ty Bartel had a chance to talk with Matt Reel earlier this week, and that Coach's Corner is up on the website, and it's just a great conversation about how they want to take that next step. What do they want to do to become even better? Because you can't get complacent. You can't say we had a good year last year. We were returning all these players. Let's pack it in. We got this in the bag, and let's just go and do it again. It doesn't work like that, because other teams are going to take the next step to try to catch up with you. Howland being a great example. They're taking that next step to try to catch up with you. So if Canfield doesn't answer that and say, foot on the gas pedal, we have to up our game too, teams like Howland can sneak up on you. So I'm really excited to look for Canfield. I think West Branch has a team that can really make a state run with all they have. Tally Munez is one of the best players in the area, period. So they're going to have a good chance to make a big run. I think Crestview in kind of Addison Road swan song, as you might say, they want to make that district championship run. They've been right there. They were so close last year to winning a district championship. They got to kind of pulled under the rug a little bit. They're the ones that kind of want to, can we win a district this year? Can we make that next step as a program? I'm really excited for the NE8 too, because it's the NE8 last year was the most exciting conference in the YSN family, because every team could beat everybody. It was one of those ones where there was no dominant team, and every night kind of felt like the NE8's on the line tonight, and Girard ended up winning it, but they had 3 losses in the conference, so it wasn't a dominant win for Girard. So everyone kind of feels like they have a chance even this year to go and win the NE8. We're talking South Range, Lakeview, Struthers has a chance, Poland has a chance, Girard has a chance. So that's going to be a real fun conference.
It feels, well, it's here, but it feels like, man, it's going to be an exciting season. And it usually is, but it feels like a little bit more excitement out of this year for a multitude of reasons. I mean, in South Range, this is the first year that Jeff Fischel hasn't been at the helm, and You've got a new coach that is leading in a different way. And I'm excited to see how the girls respond to James Heath and how he's been able, because they went out of district to find James Heath and to bring him in, and he's got a different kind of skill set that he brings to the table. I just want to see how things fare for him, because I know there's a level of excitement for him and for the community of what can be. I cannot wait. I still think we're going to get big fish on some of our platforms talking about.
Let's go.
Because he has so much knowledge and so much traction in the game. He understands it. And to be able to pick his brain a little bit, during the week and talk about, why this team's good and the success of this team, and maybe why this team needs to work a little bit more on X, Y, or Z. And I know Wednesdays to kick it over. Talked to my wife last night, and out of the blue, she goes, "I'm really excited for Wednesdays." Why? Oh, it's Wrestling Wednesdays with Gary Altizer.
Yes, we're bringing that back. Let's go.
So we'll have that. But, as far as hoops goes, man, I'm stoked. I think that there's a lot of potential this year, and mediocrity's not even close to the word I want to use. But there's a lot of, I think, spontaneous games that we're going to see pop up that maybe you didn't think were good games, last year or 2 years ago, that are going to be games that are must-see streaming here on the network any night of the week. And with some of the things we're cooking up, there's a potential for a lot of production value. There's potential for that kind of stuff. I don't take that as you may. We're gearing up for some new, I wouldn't say new partnerships, some next level opportunities with existing partnerships to really put and shine the light where it needs to be. And that's girls sports, first and foremost, because nobody does it like us. And then certainly giving basketball a little bit more of the spotlight that it deserves as we head into hoop season, man. Hard to believe we had hoops on last night.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy. And
I was geeked.
it's got to be cool to see, like, obviously, I think Westminster basketball is the first college basketball team that we're able to say that we cover at YSN, which has got to be really giddy for you being a Westminster alum to be able to kind of shine a light back on your alma mater, the school that you went to.
And then there's a lot of people that are sitting there and, okay, Westminster, Listen, we want to do this for every single school, every single college, high school, youth sports, doesn't matter. Our goal is to let people be seen. And I mean, there's a multitude of reasons that Westminster is on our airwaves. Number one, by far, they take more of our YSN students and student athletes than any other college. And the proximity of Westminster, which is about 30 minutes away from most of our schools, it makes sense. But for us, yeah, it was my alma mater, and it was an easy conversation of, hey, do you want your school and your university and your institution to be seen by high schoolers, their parents, their grandparents, and oh, by the way, we'll feature you on stories, on shows like this, and we'll interview some of your coaches, your players,
right.
And we're going to get better at that. But if you go to YSN right now, you can see the complete write-up about the Westminster game last night against Juniata, and man, there's a lot of familiar names in that, and that's exciting to me as we're able to cover these players continually. That's why you're home for YSU baseball, because Danny Bertolini was taking a lot of the homegrown talent, so to speak, and picking it up. And we really appreciate what you're doing. We would love to be the home for YSU baseball. And it happened. And we've been doing it for 7-8 years, thanks to Steve Leslie and his help, and, the former coach of YSU, Danny Bertolini, and his whole staff of making sure that we were that home. And now next generation of YSU's there, we're still there. And now Westminster. Our goal is to follow these students from the time that they can start shooting a basketball to the time that they can, potentially get drafted into the pros. That's our goal. I think we're doing all right. We started out with Westminster and YSU baseball. To me, that's a win. And again, if you're out there, if you're a college and you're looking for potentially to get involved with YSN, if you don't have a streaming service, most of them do at this point. If you don't have a streaming service or you're looking to get involved with another one, it doesn't cost you a dime, and if you want to run advertising during high school games, shooting fish in a barrel, basically, we'll do that too. We'll do that too. That's what, hey, Westminster saw it. They're like, hey, by the way, wait, you guys, who you doing how many games in high school? Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll sign up.
We'll do it. Man, like you'd think like the next step would be the PAC, right? I mean, you got Westminster. You got to have some PAC schools looking at that, being like, "Oh, that's pretty cool."
I'm very good friends with the commissioner of the President's Athletic Conference. Joan Derko has been a mentor, a role model to me for such a long time. He's the commissioner there, and we had a local guy just go into
I was going to say,
Greenville.
talking about PAC. Teal just announced it is official. Mike Kernan is the new softball coach of Teal. Congratulations, Coach Kernan. On that
well, I would clap, but there's still
do
a
it for
blue
Teal.
and white inside of me. I hate those sons of guns.
Is Teal like the biggest rival?
Everybody gets up for W&J.
Right.
But that's because W&J is like the Yankees. Like everybody hates them.
I feel like there were a couple of former South Range girls that went and played for Bethany, so I kind of got into that conference when I was watching them. Wasn't like is it St. Thomas? They were like super
down
unstoppable
in Kentucky.
in girls basketball in that conference. I remember like you couldn't beat them, at least in that stretch.
The Thomas, they were the Saints. What the heck were they? It wasn't St. Thomas, was it? Thomas
More.
Thomas More Saints. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Okay.
That's what it was. Yeah, and it got confusing because we had now St. Vincent's in that conference. There was a former D1 college that's now in the PAC, and it blew me away who it was, and I can't for the life of me I can't think of who they are right now. My mind wants to say Davidson, but that's not it. I'll come up with it before the end of the show. But I mean, the best thing about the President's Athletic Conference, what I'll tell you, people are going to say it's D3. Okay, but here's the biggest thing is you're playing college sports. 7% of high school students in the country go on to play college. 7%.
And that's any
7.
college, any level. By the way.
Any level, any college. If we're sitting here splitting hairs over where they're going to play, and quite honestly, if you're a junior and you haven't been touched by a D1 program by now, to quote Wade Barrett, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Because walking on just got extremely hard, much harder than it used to be at D1.
Bad.
It's already hard. Now it's almost impossible.
It's tough. And yeah, I mean, you may have to go to a Division II, a Division III to live out your dreams of Division I, or you might be like me and you go, hey, I'm 5'4.5". I'm probably not going to get drafted. I want to keep playing sports. And I also want to have the ability to get a great education along the way. And I don't want 900 people in my socioeconomic class. Like I had 16 people in my broadcasting classes. It was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah. Unbelievable. I mean, like you went to YSU, which is obviously a state university. And you had some big classes, man.
Most of my major classes were small, but when you go into those general education classes, they're in big lecture halls where you could be sitting in a room. I remember one of the first semesters I was there, I took a history class, and it was the biggest class I had in the whole college experience. We must have had at least 100 kids in that room, and you had the teacher on the microphone, and I was sitting in the back because obviously you can't get down the stairs to the front, so I'm sitting there like I can barely see the teacher. I can kind of hear her over the PA system. Good thing I'm good at history because I would have been so lost.
I had there was a senior that graduated last year. We're very close with, and she goes to Ohio State, and she had 600 and some people in her class. 600. I mean, to me at 18 years old, 19 years old, I hear 600 people and I go, they're not going to realize if I'm gone. They're not going to know if I'm not there. So what do we have here? Had sociology at Kent with 500 people.
Yeah, that's insane.
And listen, the small schools, the D3 schools that you're going to inevitably, the majority of our coverage area, the majority of the YSN family is going to be D3, D2. That's the sweet spot, right? Also, the majority of all the colleges around us that you can swing a belt around and hit are Division III, Division II. We don't have many that are Buckeyes. We don't have many that are Bobcats right out off the rip. I mean, eventually, I think with a lot of determination, you can get there. When you think of Ohio Bobcats, there's one young man that came to mind, went to Walsh for a few years, and then made his debut at Ohio University this year. Had a pretty daggone good game against West Virginia. And that's Cam Hullabaugh. And he was special. And he said, hey, D2 is the right fit for him. So I know I beat this drum a lot about D3 but it's not, it's about your education at this point. Mm-hmm. I'm good. 7%, again, 7%. You need to drill this into your head. It's not saying that you can't do it. It's saying that take advantage of the situations. If they're going to give you money to get your education without the NIL necessarily built in, go get it. Scholarships come from being a scholar sometimes, not necessarily just from being an athlete. And that's what people don't understand. Go get your school paid for, get a great education that fits you, and then move on to real life. Not if you're going to a D3 basketball, I promise you, if you ball out, they will find you. Mm-hmm. If you're playing softball, baseball, whatever the sport, football, if you ball out, they will find you. The professionals will find you. I played with a kid that was drafted out of D3 Westminster. I played with kids that were drafted out of D3 that schools that we played. It's a situation where if you go and you play, you also have a better chance of being drafted than if you go to school and you don't play. Right? They're not drafting bench warmers or the 63rd person on a baseball roster. Right. They're not doing it. But a perfect example of living your dreams happened last night, Anthony. You said it before we jumped on this show. There's one man who lit up the gridiron for his entire time here on YSN, and he has gone through an absolute ringer of a career at the college level. Tell us about it, Ant. Who are we talking about?
He's come out the other side. Last night, Macklin struck in the only way it can on Tuesday night. Drew DeShields gets the game-winning touchdown pass to give Kent State the victory over Akron. What a great moment that was to see him on ESPN, get the highlights, get the great call from the Macklin crew that ESPN sends on a Tuesday night. I love Macklin. I really do. I love that those schools get their night alone. I don't know what you feel like Tuesday night football, but I love having one conference that just kind of gets the spotlight one night, and Drew DeShields got the big lights on him last night, and he made the overtime game-winning touchdown pass. Congratulations, Drew.
Real quick, I'm going to address what you just kind of alluded to. One conference getting their night during the week, I have advocated, and I firmly believe, and I don't know who else out there is going to back me on this, but a conference like the MVAC or the EOAC might be the perfect candidate for Thursday night football at the high school level. I think it is absolutely it's basketball season. It's a slam dunk because you have a conference that's big, like large, and to be able to take some of the ease of the burden off of what is happening in the official shortage, officiating shortage, I think Thursday night football in high school football would be absolutely electric.
And it doesn't have to be everyone in the conference plays on Thursday night. It could be like the MAC, where not everyone plays on Tuesday night, but every night there's that one matchup from the MAC that's only on Tuesday.
No,
so you maybe send 2 or 3 MVAC games and you put them on Thursday.
Give me them all. I want them all.
I want like, Thursday.
Hey, this is the scarlet year for Thursday night football. The gray will be on Friday, but Thursday will be scarlet. The next year they flip. Dude, I think it would be the most electric thing. From a promoter's perspective, I can tell you these schools that are crying the blues about not having people show up to their game because there's, an hour between them, that would be absolutely nuked. That would be drop the bomb on that, because that won't exist. People will come from around the area, around the region to watch football on that Thursday. That's where my money would be. I really think that these administrators need to take a long look at what they're doing in the MAC and understand that, hey, we can have our own day on Thursdays. You're going to have to get creative at this point, right?
Yep. Who's going to be the first to do it? No one wants to be the first to take that step. Who's going to do it?
Hey, if you're scared, get a dog. That's what I would tell every single person. Is that your dog with a squeak toy, or is that my 4-year-old?
That must be your 4-year-old.
It's her mother's daughter. That is going to put the brakes on our show for this Wednesday hump day. We are going to do as we always do, our Spark presented by Joe Dickey Electric. They are everything electrical. They're available to you 24/7, 365 on the web at DickeyElectric.com, just like YSN. Ronnie, spark it up, pal.
My spark, once again, like I said at the top of the show, this is one of my favorite days on the calendar. It is National Signing Day. I just want to give a shout out to everyone out there throughout the country. I follow a lot of softball players on Twitter. that are signing their national letters of intent today. So if you are, congratulations. It's been, a roller coaster of a career so far to get to this point, and we know that you put in so much blood, sweat, and tears to get here, and you've sacrificed a lot of things that normal kids get to this dream come true. So if you are signing today on the dotted line to make that dream a reality, congratulations. It doesn't matter where, like we've been saying, whether you're signing for D3, D2, D1, or even lower, you are signing to a spot that handpicked you to come and play for their team, which is a tremendous honor. So congratulations on achieving your dreams out there.
Also, my spark is going to be this week. Tonight starts the voting for Week 10 of the Big Dogs of the Valley, presented by Baird Brothers. So if you're looking for that final nomination, tonight is the last night, or the beginning of the last week to vote for that 10th and final spot. Next week, we will have the semifinals from all the winners of the past, 3 months or so. And then we will have the finals the following week for the Big Dog of the Year contest presented by Baird Brothers, with the winners. Hopefully, we're still working on it. I don't think it's money, but we're going to end up with some kind of trophy or a belt or something like that for winners this year. We've been working on that with our friends over at Baird Brothers. So we'll be cooking something up for them, very special. So tonight, make sure you're looking out for that. Voting will end on Sunday night. Get the votes in and make somebody's week, make somebody's year potentially by getting them in the voting for the Big Dogs of the Valley Week 10, the final edition for fall. And then, after the Big Dog of the Year, we will waste no time, because Big Dog of the Valley for basketball will start that following week, which I know basketball gets a lot of appreciation, a lot of love throughout the year for Big Dogs on the hardwood. So they get a lot of votes, a lot of votes.
And I love that we were talking about it off the show yesterday. It's awesome that it works out perfectly, where the finals would take us right into the first week, where both boys and girls will have a week of basketball in them. So we can say, okay, we can start Baird Brothers, Big Dog of the Valley the very next week. It's timed up brilliantly, and we all did it on purpose. Absolutely.
Oh, just the way we drew it up, right? Just always on purpose. We want to thank everybody, certainly Coach Aaron Pounds of the Howland Lady Tigers, for coming on our show today. Thank you for watching. We could not do it without you. Thank you to our sponsors all over YSN. Make sure that you're utilizing them and thanking them for allowing you to see everything throughout the year on your sports network, and allowing us to do what we do each and every day. What a stupid life we live, and to be able to do this, we're so grateful and so incredibly just baffled that people like what we do and tune in and give us their lunch break each and every day here on YSN. For Anthony Ronald Hartwig, the 8-time best-selling author, Grammy, Emmy Award-winning, world-traveling, Nobel Peace Prize nominated Anthony Ronald Hartwig. My name is DJ Oakley. We will see you tomorrow. We'll be better tomorrow to close out the week. And certainly, Ant, I just want to let you know, let the sports be with you.
Yes, you too, my friend.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.